One of the best games of the last console generation,
I would say ever.
Was Beyond Good and Evil. Sadly, didn't reach the heights of commercial success that it deserved, but it was still an awesome, amazing game.
Yeah, I think most of the people who actually took the time to play it still remember it as one of the fondest gaming memories. It certainly seems that way when you read everything that has been said about it since its original release.
Absolutely. And now, in this age of remaking old classics and turning them into HD versions, we have received Beyond Good and Evil HD.
Yes.
I haven't had the time to play it yet. I'm frothing at the mouth, but you have.
Yeah.
And I think the first question that is relevant is, has it aged well?
Better than almost any game I can remember playing, and that's me being as serious as I can possibly be. I mean, within the very start of the game is where you see these lost children get captured by the DOMs, and everything. You don't even need to notice if you haven't played the game before. But within that first scene of the game, I was sitting there thinking, this is something really special, and I just want to keep playing it. And I did. So
obviously,
apparently it's doing something to me still. And I mean, to me the game is just as magical as the first time I played it. And it should be said that I haven't played it all the way through since the game was originally released. So for me, it's almost like enjoying a new game, and how I am enjoying it.
What do you think it is about Beyond Good and Evil that makes it as special as it is? Because really, at the basic level, it's action, platforming, well, it's kind of basic in many, many ways. What is it about Beyond Good and Evil?
For me, and again, it's one of the few games, one of the very, very few games I can say this about. For me, it's partly the world. I just love the world in the game. It's part realistic, but still based on everything I would expect from this magical world that I really want to explore. And the way you go about exploring it, and the way you go about just enjoying the story of the game is just so amazing. I mean, you have this little hovercraft where you can actually just scoot around on all these lakes, and later on it can even sort of fly, and just going around and seeing the colors of the world and experiencing the wildlife of the world, which you can of course capture in pictures and get money for and everything, is just so amazing. And I never say this about games, because the worlds of the games I usually play are just something that I forget within 5 minutes. It's usually just a background for me, but Beyond Good and Evil just has a magical world to explore.
And there's also, of course, and this is just from memory, the characters.
Yeah.
Jade, for example, the main character, very...
Photojournalist.
Photojournalist Jade. She's very human, not that kind of oversized boob heroines we often see. She's one of the most memorable characters ever.
Yeah, and I would even go as far as to say that Paige, her main sidekick, is just as good. And that's
a talking pig.
Yeah, and that's saying something, because it's a talking pig, and even to me, that has spent a lot of hours with the game, it sounds kind of crazy, but he is like one of the most likable sidekicks I've ever experienced in a game. Partly because he's pretty human in his emotions, and in the way he in every situation he gets tries to protect Jade from the world and all the harm that comes at her.
And it also includes some of the most memorable scenes in gaming ever. But sadly, I can't spoil them. I really want to talk about them, but there's a couple of really intense, really emotional scenes in Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
That perhaps I'm not going to use the "oh, it will make you cry" cliche, but it really, really sticks in your memory after you.
Yeah, and it should be said, because right now we are kind of talking like fans of the game, because we are, but this is game that everyone who like games like Zelda and that type of action adventures should just go out of their way to try. And of course, it gets even better because Ubisoft has upgraded the HD version with slightly better visuals and sound and trophies, achievements and everything. But to me, that's just topping on the cake. I mean, the best thing I can say about the graphics is that at no point of time was I sitting there and just reminding me of the fact that it's a last generation game. For a downloadable title, even today, and of course with the polished graphics, it looks really good. Not the least because the visual style of the game is just still really amazing.
And it's really cheap as well.
It is 800 Microsoft points. I mean, I can't think of a game that gives you better value for money than this. I mean, it's a pretty long adventure, but even more, it's just a brilliant adventure from start to finish, and just an amazing story, an amazing game, and just something that really everyone should try, I would say.
Yeah, everyone that has a modern console now that managed to miss Beyond Good and Evil back in the day on any of the consoles really that was released for, really has a chance now. I personally, I can't wait.
No,
I know it's very much hyperbole now. We just, it's amazing.
It is.
It's one of the best
we're
games
sorry,
ever.
but that's the kind of game this is. I mean,
we've been going at it like this for years, really. So
yeah, but the thing is, I own the old game, I own the PC version. I've played them both, and now I own the Xbox 360 version, and I'm still on my 4th or 5th go through the game. I'm still enjoying it just as much as I did the first time. So
what we'd like to say really is, if you have the spare change this game will cost you, buy it, because then maybe also Ubisoft will give us Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Definitely.